Alright, and here is the video review for DX9's Montana, the first member of their combiner that is obviously Menasor, their version of the Stunticons. And here he is in his vehicle mode. You can see his gun is pegged in on top. And he also came with this little piece, which doesn't seem to attach to anything. And I don't know if this is supposed to be like a personality core or something. Like, I'm not 100% familiar with the episode where they first showed up or where this came into place. But he comes with it. It looks kind of like a speaker grill. But I've seen some pictures of like Megatron standing over him holding like this above here. So I don't know if that's like, if that was supposed to be their personality core or his matrix, or not, his matrix or what. I don't remember. Like I said, I watched a lot of these of Transformers when I was a kid. I don't remember a lot of the individual episodes, and I haven't seen anywhere that it attaches to the figure in any way, shape, or form, because it does have some little grooves here on the edges, as well as a little square peg hole in the center that could attach onto something. So we'll find out. Like I said, this is one of the first ones off the line sample, so I don't have instructions. Now there's his weapon. It's a small little peg here, and you can flip that out to form the handle for his gun. That's really all there is to that. We'll set that aside for the time being. Now here's the vehicle mode, and there's some really neat stuff in vehicle mode. There's a few little issues. There's a little bit of damaging. So there's something I did to it, and I'll explain. You can see there's a gouge right here. It's not really a gouge. It just scratched the paint. We'll talk about that when we get to robot mode. But that was entirely my fault. But you can see like this little piece right here. That's a little paint chip. That little dark spot right there. There's some paint chipping on this tab that comes through this piece. There's actually, this piece was cracked. I don't know if this tab is too fat or what, but like right out of the box when I got it today, this little tab, this little part of this piece was cracked here. You can kind of see it. Like I said, so far it hasn't affected it at all, and I can probably sand that tab down on the front a little bit to keep it from pushing it too hard in vehicle mode. Also, these two front pieces right here that are on ball joints, that are plugged in up here on ball joints, were on the wrong sides. I had to swap them. So just things to look out for. Now, things that I wish were better, you can see, and there's just some minor paint chipping around on some of the corners, like right here on the wheel well, and in various places where like the blue paint on the white. I know Watafa had one of these pieces rotated. The bumper was this way or that way, so I don't know. One of the things I would have liked to have seen, and I've seen it on all the pictures of the samples I've seen so far, I would have liked to see some white paint around the front edge of these little corners of the windshield, because I feel like it matches up okay. It's not quite a perfect 100% seamless match to the bumpers and the surrounding, or to the hood here and the surrounding pieces. I would have, and some white paint just along these corner edges on the front would have made this visually blend in a little better than having that black line there. It's not horrible, but like I said, it could have been a little better. Vehicle mode wise, though, he's pretty fun. It's a nice little Lamborghini here. The fin, he rolls very well. He's got the gull wing doors, which only open up on some screws and some random interior bits, but you can flip the doors up, which is kind of cool. And he has little flip up, you can push back here and get your finger on him. He has little flip up headlights, despite the fact that like these, you can see where the cut is. This is a panel that folds up on his forearm, but he still has little flip up headlights. I think that's a cool little feature. Don't know how much use I'm going to get out of them. And sometimes you pull them up, you need to tab it back in the front of this panel here. But yeah, so he's got little flip-up headlights and flip-up doors, and that's about it for vehicle mode. Got the exhaust pipes in back here. But all in all, the reddish-orange panel up here, it looks like Breakdown. And he's pretty cool. He's a little bigger than the previous Masterpiece Lambos, but we'll show him off in robot mode here all together once we're all said and done. But a nice little Lambo. Now, he does... I saw some people complaining about people not talking about the alt mode for the various breakdowns and combiner limbs that are out there, because I know the X-Transbots version, Crack Up or whatever, has been making the reviewer rounds as well. And I know in this case, it does not come with a foot. I feel like they're going for more of a cartoon look, which means they're probably going for the same thing that X-Transbots is doing, where it's just kind of the vehicle's pegged on to the frame of the giant robot. That's totally their call. We haven't seen combined pictures or final pictures of what this guy is supposed to look like all combined, so I guess we'll see. There is, however, a tab here that flips out. Let's see if I can get it here. There we go. Flips out from under the car. And I'm assuming that, and it's got a groove here, and I'm assuming that's going to lock it, at least in some way, attach it to however it's going to attach, whether it's on the front or the back of the combiner mode. We're gonna find that out. Now, there's also a couple of tabs here. That is for transformation. That's where a couple things tab in during transformation. There's also this tab here that I don't believe goes to a transformation, or maybe it's just one of the pieces that tabs in. But there are some little slots up here as well that could hold it in place, as well as these two tabs here on the front end of the car. And I don't believe those move out of the room or make room for anything in robot mode. So there are places where it could tab in. I'm not entirely sure how this is going to attach. It looks like it's just going to stick on as a vehicle whole cloth. But yeah, so when you see me not talking about his leg mode, well, that's because we don't know yet. But that's my suspicion. So to start transforming him, these are his feet, which are pretty cool. That's a random. I don't know why I mentioned that. It's a random thing. But you want to come back here and you want to pop this bumper off first. And it snaps on pretty securely. It's this whole center section, you can see right down along these lines is where it pops up. And it takes a little bit of wiggling, at least on mine, to get it really started going. Once you get it loose, though, there you go. So you lift this up, and this whole assembly should pop up. Stuck there, there we go. I don't know why it's clicking like that, but it should pop up like this. You can see this, the rear bumper folds down like that. You lift it up, there's a rotational piece right here, rotate it around, push it into the body like that, and then fold it, and then slide the bumper slides up on this, push it in, and I just have it sit there on the back of the robot. We'll get to that later. But so there we're starting to open it up. Now we're going to go on to the legs, and for the legs we open up right here next to the front of the windshield. This whole side panel comes off. So bring that down. These panels here in the middle rotate down, and then these blue panels here come down. And here's where, as I talk about, these tab slots in the middle part of the leg tab onto this piece. So go ahead and get those lined up. There you go. Bring this down. It rotates around on a ball joint here. So there's the leg. Kind of flip this up and around. The foot comes out like this. It's also on a ball joint. You kind of want to rotate it down, flip it around until the foot comes down below the leg. I find it helps to go ahead and flip the heel and the toe up just for alignment purposes. Flip this up around like this, and then rotate it again here up at the ball joint. And there's a tab inside the window here that's going to go right in this slot. So after you line that up, and then just make sure that tabs in, and that holds the whole leg together. And then just bring the foot around and rotate this so the blue shin here is underneath the kind of like headlight thigh pieces. This is the front of the leg. We're going to rotate this whole waist piece here in a moment. Let's bring this down around, bring the foot up, rotate it down, bring this up. Go ahead and open up the foot. Bring this down, and rotate this all the way around until this tab slots in. Just like that. And then bring it around so the window is on the outside of the leg. Bring the foot forward. There we go. Come on, foot. There we go. And there's the legs done. Go ahead and lift this up. You can see part of the next steps are already done. And that's flip up these two panels like this. That gets out of the way so the waist can rotate. And you want to go ahead and grab the upper part of the body and the legs here. And bring this. Did we bring that down yet? Well, maybe. We got to wait until the arms are out of the way. However, you do need to bring the legs down. There's what could be a peg hole here for a combined mode. Although, like these two slots are where the blue panels tab in underneath. But this piece actually comes up. And once you lift that up, you slide the whole leg assembly down and then flip this up. That lowers the hips inside the waist piece. And again, there's a hexagonal peg hole there. I don't know if that's going to be used for attaching them to anything. It would seem weird because you'd have to get those blue panels out of the way in a way that would be very detrimental to the combined mode, but I guess we'll see how it goes when they actually start releasing more of them. There we go. So that's down, and then we come up here and untab these two arms from each other. Bring this whole assembly out here, and then you can pop his head out. Now this is where what happened was when you rotate this around, you're going to see some tabs that come out, and that's where this piece tabs back in. This came with these out in vehicle mode, which made the whole front end weird, and it took me a while to figure it out. And while trying to loosen this and it was really stuck in here and trying to kind of pry it out gently, I was distracted, and I ended up scratching my driver right down this paint. Now, on the plus side, there's no actual physical groove. It's just some paint damage. It looks worse than it really is, so a little bit of sanding and some touch-up paint, and he'll be good as new. Like, worst case scenario, I mask off this blue centerpiece and just redo the whole silver. But, so like I said, my fault. I will take my licks. I know I'm going to catch some crap for that, and it was my fault. I was not as careful as I should have been and ended up scratching the paint. Do not blame DX9 for that. And I probably didn't have to harp on it as much as I did, but like I said, it's easy enough to fix. Like I said, there's the plastic itself isn't gouged. There's no catch there, or if there is, it's very minor. Like I didn't just but I'm glad to fix it. Anyway, that was my fault. Now this, like I said, you got to untab this whole assembly, and this is where I do want to be a little careful because, like I said, this did come cracked up here. And you just kind of got to wiggle it up off that tab like that. This whole assembly lifts up. This piece unpegs on the ball joint. And like I said, these were swapped. This should tab in with the red up here to match up with this piece, and if it doesn't, they're swapped. Bring it down. This piece folds down like this and then pushes in. Now, if you're going back to vehicle mode, sometimes it's really hard to get the leverage to slide this up because it needs to come up and then rotate down. But there's an opening right here where it tabs in. Just push on that up until this piece pops up and then slide it down. But extend the arm down. Go ahead and fold this back up into the body and then bring it down up here. Flip his fist out. Rotate right here at this swivel joint. Rotate it so that's facing forward. And then this piece rotates down onto the back of the arm. There's a little slot here that this tab is going to go in. So you want to bring this up. You're going to line this up so this tabs in. That's what holds this piece onto the forearm. And then this piece just kind of folds up to cover it. It's not a super tight cover, and so he does kind of have these hollow forearms, but it is what it is. And like I said, this is the panel that has the little flip out headlight in it. And so for being such a thin panel, you can see the hinge here. It's kind of neat that like with just this little panel, they managed to incorporate that little flip out light gimmick. We'll bring that around and that arm's done. Rotate this around, bring it up into the body. Go ahead and actually just untab this first. Bring it up, bring it down around like that. And then you can go ahead and take this, and now you can tab this in. Now, like I said, I was having trouble getting this untabbed from vehicle mode. In robot mode, it's actually pretty easy because you can just, you can use the head and grab it up here as leverage to pop it out. But it does, these tabs are very tight in that body. Then this whole assembly, you can see there's a sliding joint here. You want to lift the whole torso up until it clicks. You can see that screw, that slidey slot. Kind of grab it here, and then also you extend the okay, that's up. That opens up the ab crunch. Okay, let's finish this arm here. Get this fist out. Rotate this around so it's facing the right way. Fold this down and around. Tab in that. Fold that up. Bring his arm down. Up. Right. Fold that up. And here's what I'm talking about. Like, it has to come up like that. See that gap there to flip around this, and you'll see it when I push it together. You'll see it pop right in there. And like I said, if you need to, just push that back out through there if you're having trouble getting it going. And then make sure this is all slid down on the back. Don't worry, we'll get up to his face here in just a second. Here he is in robot mode. And you can see, like I said, they're going for the really basic, smooth cartoon look on him. And there's nothing wrong with that. I'm not dissing it. That's just what they're going for. But yeah, he's got his backpack folded up there. Like that should be sitting a little more flush with the back there. Anyway. But yeah, so this piece lifts up to allow his legs some freedom of movement here. Let's start. He's got a ball joint at the head, which is nice. Dual joints at the shoulder, this joint and the outer joint. Bicep swivel, dual hinge elbows. He does have wrist swivel. His fingers are no knuckles aside from at the palm. So but his individual finger is separate from his other three, as is common with a lot of figures these days. And he does have a wrist swivel as well as a little bit of hinge tilt there, so you can get his arms and different things. He does have the ab crunch, waist swivel, hips in both directions, and they do, on the outside, do have little detents. You don't hear them click, 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 but you can feel the click, 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 the positions there. On the outside, he's got a thigh swivel, although it's a little hindered by the shape of his upper armor. He does have 90-degree knees. He does have a swivel just below the knee. Then the feet, you can see, have the toe and heel hinge, as well as that ball joint that they're attached to, so there's a decent amount of ankle range as well. And he can just hold his gun like that. Oh, come on, ankle. So yeah, a pretty slick looking drag strip. Now, here he is with Masterpiece, Sideswipe, and Sunstreaker. And he's bigger than they are, so he's a little larger than Masterpiece scale. Like I would expect him to be in the same scale as the Lambo brothers. I'm surprised at how much larger he is. He looks good with like Masterpiece Megatron and things like that, and we'll bring those out once we start getting into like Motormaster and some of the other ones. But so you see, like, he's slightly larger in vehicle mode, definitely larger in robot mode, and yeah. So like I said, I'll fix up the silver paint, and he'll go and await his fellow Stunticons, and we'll see how that turns out. Because if you've watched my videos, you know I am a bit of a Stunticon fan, Minosaur especially. Minosaur and the Protectobots are two of my favorite combiners, so I'm looking forward to seeing where this one goes. But there it is, DX9's Montana.